Today, we're unpacking a really interesting document. It's a methodology guide for English learners, A1, A2 level. But what's kind of remarkable is its focus. It's almost obsessive. It's about describing just one thing, your daily routine.
Yeah. I mean, on the surface, you think daily routine. That sounds, well, boring, right? Why focus an entire learning system on, I wake up, I brush my teeth?
Exactly. So our mission today is to sort of dig underneath that, to pull out the universal learning principles, the habit building stuff that's hidden in this, seemingly mundane framework.
Right. Why is just talking about your day potentially so powerful for skill building?
And for you, the listener, the idea is that the goal is basic fluency. Being able to answer that simple question, what did you do today?
Mm-hmm.
Not just with one word, but, with a proper narrative. Like, okay, I woke up at 7, I had coffee, checked emails, then later I watched a movie.
Mm-hmm.
We want to see how this method builds that structure.
And the guide itself gives a core reason. It's all about efficiency, getting rid of mental friction. When you talk about your own day, you know the content. It's real. It's familiar.
Yeah.
You're not desperately searching your brain for opinions on, history or politics or complex science terms.
Right.
The guide calls it real English, useful English, because it's instantly applicable to your life.
That's where I always struggled with languages. It felt like a double test, testing my knowledge and my vocabulary at the same time.
Exactly.
But if we already know the whole story of our day, doesn't that feel a bit like cheating? Like, is it too easy? Are we really building skills we can use elsewhere?
Well, that's the clever part, isn't it? It's not cheating. It's just smart scaffolding. By basically removing the need to invent ideas, you slash the cognitive load. You free up your brain's processing power.
Okay, cognitive load. Less juggling in your head.
Precisely. So the only challenge left is mapping the English onto concepts you already hold. And that focused practice helps achieve that big psychological shift. Stopping the mental translation. You start to actually think in English about these simple things.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Stopping the translation step. That's huge. People always talk about that as the real sign of fluency.
It is. And the guide uses repetition, structure, simple questions to build what psychologists call retrieval cues.
Retrieval cues. Okay, for listeners maybe not familiar, what does that mean in this context? Like, how does asking, what time did I wake up, act as a cue?
It's basically a reliable memory prompt. The action itself, like making tea, becomes the trigger. You already know the trigger, the context. All your brain needs to do is fetch the English words. Kettle, cup, water, steep.
Right. You're not distracted trying to formulate some complicated argument at the same time.
Exactly. So you're building language muscle memory, these habits, without the usual stress and complexity.
And it feels very low stakes. Just asking simple things. What time did I wake up? What did I eat? Where did I go? It's about consistency building these habits, not making it hard.
Precisely. And the motivation is built in. It's designed to feel achievable. The guide literally says, 1 sentence today, 2 sentences tomorrow, a whole story next week.
I like that. Micro steps.
Yeah, it's skill building piece by piece. The idea is that real habit formation happens when you reduce the friction, the difficulty, almost to zero. If you know the story, the only friction left is finding the English words. And that's the specific skill you practice.
The guide also mentions specific techniques, like shadowing. Can you explain that a bit?
Sure. Shadowing is basically listening to a native speaker, maybe audio from the guide or a podcast, and immediately repeating exactly what they say. You try to copy their rhythm, their intonation, everything.
Like mimicking them in real time.
Exactly. It's super important for bridging that gap between just understanding passively and actually speaking actively, sounding more natural.
Okay, so it forces you out of your own language's rhythms.
Yes. It makes the English sounds and patterns feel more comfortable in your mouth. The guide really emphasizes this for improving fluency and getting that natural cadence, not just learning vocabulary lists.
Okay, so reduced friction is the foundation. We need a structure, though. How does the guide actually break down the day, morning, afternoon, evening, to keep that cognitive load low and embed the practice?
Right. It segments the day logically. And within each segment, the language practice is tied directly to physical, repeatable actions. The morning routine is presented as really crucial. It sets the mood for the day, apparently.
That's the mood.
Yeah, and it provides these quiet moments, these little windows for thinking in English before the day gets noisy.
I thought the details here were fascinating. It wasn't
Yeah.
just wake up. The guide suggests staying in bed a minute, thinking about the day, taking a deep breath, stretching. It sounds almost like mindfulness or yoga instructions in an English guide. What's the learning purpose of telling someone to breathe deeply?
It's about creating a sensory anchor, linking a physical act, especially a calming one like a deep breath, with a few simple English phrases you rehearse in your head. It builds a stronger memory trace and makes it feel positive. The routine becomes a ritual, and the English is part of that calm, predictable start.
And then the detail gets really specific, like brushing your teeth slowly and carefully for 2 minutes. Why 2 minutes?
That specific time, 2 minutes, isn't random. It's a defined block of time. Time for sustained focus, where you can mentally run through vocabulary related to the back room, or maybe your first couple of tasks for the day.
Okay, so it's a timed practice window.
Exactly. And then things like washing your face with cold water because it helps me feel awake. You're encouraged to describe that feeling awake, cold, refreshed, linking the physical sensation directly to the English words.
I see. And even playing soft music or listen to English audio while showering.
Yeah, it keeps the language present. It makes it part of the environment, not some separate study time you have to force yourself into.
And the preparation before leaving. Checking the calendar, packing your bag, phone, keys, water bottle. That's like a mental checklist in English.
Absolutely. You're rehearsing practical, logistical words and phrases you actually need, but in a totally low-pressure situation before you even leave the house.
Makes sense. What about food habits mentioned?
Similar idea. Eating slowly to enjoy the food, drinking coffee or green tea because it feels light and fresh. It encourages you to describe the sensory details.
Which help vocabulary stick better than just memorizing lists.
Much better. You're connecting words to taste, feeling, sight, sound.
Okay, let's move into the afternoon. This is often the busiest part of the day. The guide insists you can still use English even when things are hectic. How?
Well, it focuses on narrating your work habits in English. Things like checking emails, deciding which are important, having meetings describing who with, client, manager, team, typing reports, preparing presentations. It turns work tasks into language practice.
And it even mentions keeping your desk tidy, clean and organized, because it helps me think clearly.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? It's sort of subtle behavioral conditioning, linking a clean space to clear thinking, which obviously helps with learning focus too.
That structure seems important, and the guide specifically mentions taking a short break.
Yes, mandatory break time. Around 3 p.m., maybe for tea or water, a small snack like fruit or a biscuit, or even just a quick 10-minute walk outside for fresh air.
Why mandate the break?
Well, it prevents burnout, keeps your mind fresh, but crucially, this scheduled downtime is often flagged as the ideal time for a little focused afternoon study.
Okay, so during the break.
Yes. Listening to a short podcast segment, reading a quick online article, watching one of those slow English videos.
And this is where that shadowing technique comes back in.
Exactly. The guide specifically says, use this break time to actively shadow, to repeat short phrases out loud, even just for a few minutes.
So it's about integrating the practice, not isolating it.
That's the key to making it stick. If you only practice when you have a free hour, it often doesn't happen. But if you bolt 10 minutes of shadowing onto your 3 p.m. tea break,
it becomes a sustainable habit.
Right, and you're improving your actual pronunciation and flow by mimicking the sounds, not just learning definitions.
Okay, so we've navigated the busy part of the day. Now we get to the evening relaxation, but also review and reflection.
Yes, this end-of-day reflection is presented as vital for locking in what you've encountered. Before you fully switch off from work or study, the guide says, Write down what you accomplished.
That sounds like just good organization.
It is partly. It helps you feel organized for the next day. But the act of writing it, even briefly in English, reinforces the language used during those tasks.
But then there's the more personal reflection bit, which I thought was really clever for motivation.
What part?
Writing down one new word you learned. Or, and this seemed powerful, writing a short summary and then one single English sentence describing how you feel.
Ah, yes, that's the emotional anchor. That's what helps prevent people from just giving up.
How so?
Because learning sticks when it's tied to emotion, to self-assessment. That simple sentence connects you personally to the language. You're not just ticking off grammar boxes. You're using English to express your own state. Like, I finished all my work today and I feel proud.
Or even, I didn't study much today, but I will try again tomorrow.
That's powerful too. Self-correction and goal setting.
Exactly. It turns English into a tool for your own self-motivation, your own growth. It makes progress feel real and continuous, even if you had an off day.
It integrates the language into your identity as someone who reflects and plans.
Precisely. It externalizes the motivation.
And then the final evening routine just kind of closes the loop, doesn't it? Arriving home, relaxing with news or music, family dinner, talking about the day.
And sharing stories.
Cleaning up, then the bedtime routine reading, maybe calming music, heading to bed. The whole cycle, morning to night, is wrapped in this predictable English practice. Yeah, if you step back and look at the whole thing, you realize the goal was never just about learning vocabulary lists. It's about creating the safe, predictable space where you can use the language without fear of failure. Because the story, your day, is always true and known.
You're not just studying English theory.
No.
Right.
You're actually using it. You're building a practical, usable English-speaking identity piece by piece.
So the core message we pulled out is, you're not just studying English, you are using English.
Yeah.
You're living in English, one routine sentence at a time.
And the familiarity of that routine takes away the fear. It reduces that need to translate everything first.
So the main takeaway, the actionable advice.
It's simple, really.
What?
Keep practicing describing your day until it feels easy, automatic. The source suggests, come back to material like this often. Listen again, shadow again. And each time, try to add a little more detail, a bit more complexity to your own daily story.
Okay, makes sense. Build it up gradually. Now, we always like to leave you with something to think about. This learning guide strongly suggests recording yourself speaking about your routine and then listening back.
Ah, yes. The self-recording part.
So the question for you to consider is, what actually changes in your brain, in your learning, when you shift from just speaking to actively hearing your own practiced voice? Hearing yourself as if you were someone else. Think about the power of self-perception, that critical listening, in making that final jump towards real, confident fluency. Something to mull over.
Definitely something to think about.
We'll leave you there for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us.